Hello everyone, I'm Danish and welcome to another episode of TOSB Conversation Starters, where we explore the ideas shaping the future of business, leadership, and work. Today, we're discussing a topic that's on every boardroom agenda and every professional's mind: artificial intelligence. Beyond the hype, what does AI really mean for the way we work, lead, and build careers? Joining us today is Dr. Tracey Wilen. Tracey is a globally recognized researcher, keynote speaker, and best-selling author specializing in the future of work, artificial intelligence, and careers. A former visiting scholar at Stanford University, she has also held leadership roles at Apple, Cisco Systems, and Hewlett Packard, giving her a unique perspective on how technology transforms industries and people. Tracey, it's wonderful to have you on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So let's just go into the conversation. You've been studying technology and the future of work for decades, right? Long before AI became the biggest conversation. What's the biggest surprise for you over the last 2 years? Has AI evolved faster than you expected, or has our adoption of it surprised you more?
Oh, I think AI adoption is number one. We've never seen a technology be adopted so quickly. I mean, let's face it, in the past, it's been hardware rollouts. Like a smartphone took 7 years to roll out. Even cloud computing took decades. But here you have AI. There's no hardware. You just go online and it was instant results and everyone understood it. There was no barrier to entry, no issues that got in the way, and the consumer just loved it, and it just went viral, and people are still using it. I understand it's like 1 billion use cases every month today in any one of the AI tools.
So everyone seems to be using AI today, but not everyone is using it well. That's my understanding. What's the biggest shift you believe professionals and organizations still haven't fully understood about AI?
Right. So I think the problem is a lot of people are using AI like a Google search tool. I have a medical colleague of mine who said he loves AI because he wrote a paper and then had one of the AI tools edit it for grammar and spelling. And I said, you're not using it strong enough. You could say to AI, write me the first draft of this paper, and here's a couple of outline words, because it's really a much more of a productivity tool rather than just a Google search tool or a grammar tool. And so that's what I think people have to wrap their head around, is how am I going to use this tool to actually give me results?
So can it become a strategic partner?
Yes, I think so. A lot of my colleagues are now really thinking about how do I use this to write code for me. I mean, I use it to develop presentations. I don't have it critiquing my presentations. I say, draft me up these slides, write me this article. And so it's relieving me of help that you would normally need an assistant for. Now, it's a junior assistant, and I think people have to understand this. You have to train it and manage it just like you would a student right out of school that you're trying to train in a company. And so I think it's very important. The other thing I would bring up is people need to understand prompts. And that is the instruction sets that you give to AI to do things. So it's not like, tell me about a trip. It's book me a trip to Bangalore, leaving on Monday with flights, right? You have to be very, very, very specific. So I think that's one of the opportunities that people, if they can understand accurate prompting, they can really see the benefits of the tool.
But you know what? What's also happening? There's a lot of anxiety about job displacement, right? So if you are a young professional, what will be your advice if they are entering the workflows today, or even somebody who's spent a more than a decade in their career, and there is this fear that will I be replaceable after some times? Like I was reading this piece where workers in India in one sector are wearing wearable devices. Now, there's automation happening, but that fear which is there, okay, at this point, you are being paid enough to do something like this. What about the anxiety which is coming? You're dealing with humans at the end of the day.
Yes, and I think you're very correct on that. A lot of people are very nervous about it, and so they're backing away from it. And my advice to whether you're a student or an adult in the workforce is learn to work with AI. not around it. It's not going to replace you. And I think you have to understand humans have incredible capabilities, but we can really make this much more powerful. And so using AI is a necessary tool today in the workforce and will continue to be there. So you might as well just, as I say, get your hands dirty and start trying all the tools because a lot of them are still free, not all, and see how it can really extend what you're doing even better.
Right. Okay, but there would be something, right? Like a human skill which you feel will become even more valuable in this entire scenario.
So there's a couple of skills that I think humans excel at, which will become more valuable. I think judgment. An AI tool can give you options, but you as a human have to decide which one's right. I think the second one is creativity. I mean, AI is great for generating a lot of ideas, but then we have to figure out which of the ideas are worth pursuing and which ones are original. And I think relationship intelligence. AI can give you information, but it's really the human side of us that helps us build trust. We can read the room, we can create meaningful relationships. And the fourth one is conscious awareness. AI can draft a message, but humans will know if it's accurate or not, or if it's the appropriate message for an audience at a time or at the right moment. So you have to really see that there are, human attributes are so powerful, especially when they're augmented with AI tools.
Right, and it's very well put, right? We're also hearing, terms like AI agents, digital co-workers, autonomous workflows, and the organizations are beginning to redesign the entire business processes around it. You know, which emerging AI trend do you believe will be the biggest impact over the next, say, in the couple of years? And which trend do you think are more receiving are receiving more attention than they deserve?
So I think agentic AI is very big right now. I go to a lot of conferences and people talk about how agentic AI can really get things and anticipate the next step. So for example, I went to a website. It's called Williams Sonoma. They have household cooking, things like that. And they have a built-in AI agent, agentic AI. And I said to them, I have a friend who likes to cook and I have to give her a gift. And it came back to me and said, well, what kind of things does she like to cook? And I said, oh, Italian. And it came right
Mm,
back to me and said, well, we have this whole portfolio of Italian pastas, spices, cooking ware, cookbooks, anything in this area that you think that she would like. And it just kept bringing me through a thread to the checkout and wrapping. So that's more like agentic AI. And I think that's where a lot of companies are trying to figure out how to make this tool more engaged and doing a lot more of the work. The second one I'll bring up is actually these specialized smaller AI models. So I have a colleague who's in law, and he said, like in the legal industry and the medical industry, they have smaller AI. It's privatized. They use the tools to look up legal cases or medical cases. And I think that's an area where people, it won't be this widespread chat GBT. It will be very specialized. In terms of things that I think is not doing well, it's called AI slop. I think everyone has seen it. It's
mm,
just AI that generically answers you. So you say, I'm having a dinner party, and it'll come back and say, oh, a dinner party is a group of 10 people getting together. Well, that's absolutely useless to me. So they would call that AI slop. And I think a lot of that will go away as people start to figure out how to use the tools better.
you're right. Okay, now if you shift, say, another 5, 6 years down the line, what do you think the workplace will look like? What changes do you think will be taken for granted and which is completely unimaginable today?
Well, I think AI will be fully adopted and it won't be as much of a headline anymore. A lot of these technologies that I've lived through, Google is going to take away our intelligence, or these smart devices are going to replace us forever. And then all of a sudden it becomes adopted and quiet. And everybody has a smartphone and everybody is using social media and everyone is using Google. So I think 10 years down the road, AI, like we're talking about it today, it'll be silent. It'll be in the background. Enterprises will be using it. They'll figure out workflows, and we will move on and to the next technology.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now we'll shift to this section which you've recently started called the rapid fire. I'll ask you, a couple of questions. You give me a quick short answer to it. So here we go. One AI tool you think every professional should try.
Okay, I think everybody should try all of them. And then you pick out which one you think is right for you. And I understand today they're not all free anymore. But everyone will find that there's an AI tool that they prefer. So it might be ChatGPT, it might be uh, Gemini, it might be Perplexity, it might be Claude. Every friend of mine has a favorite. But what I would tell you is pick one and develop the history with it because it will remember your conversation and bring back a points from a year ago that you may have put in there. And I think the best case of that is when you upload some medical files. And if it's private and you're subscribing, it will remember your medical history and then try to aggregate for you better solutions. So I think try them all, pick one, develop a history so that you can really understand the power of it.
Okay. One skill you've never stopped investing in.
Information literacy. And what I mean by that, it's the skill of absorbing information and turning it into insights. So I don't care if you're listening to podcasts, reading books, reading white papers, streaming something online. As a human, we have to continue to absorb information so that we can continue to stay relevant.
Okay. One leadership habit that will become more important because of AI.
I think leaders need to stay open to new ideas and continuous change because we can't move our businesses ahead if we stay rigid in our philosophy of how to run things. So if employees or partners come up with ideas, be more open to it and explore it because that's how you're really going to advance. And it's just adopting to continuous change.
Okay, now finish this sentence. The future belongs to the people who.
The future belongs to people who treat their minds like a living laboratory, always experimenting, always upgrading, never assuming they've arrived. It belongs to the ones who ask better questions, rewrite outdated assumptions, and stay nimble and can pivot when the world shifts under their feet. How's that?
Lovely. I think that's one of my favorite now. Okay. Tracey, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fascinating conversation, to the point, exactly what I was looking for. And thank you everyone for listening. If you've enjoyed today's episode of TOSB Conversations, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we continue bringing conversations that spark new thinking.